So I woke up this morning and I thought to myself, okay, this is the Conversion Summit. What can I give you guys that's really going to help you increase your conversions? Money. That's what you want. Well, I don't know about that, but I'm going to give you the next best thing. So I thought to myself, you know what, if I lost everything, if I lost my list, all my products, everything, and I had to start over again, like if I went back to 2008 when I was starting out, where I was newer than just about anyone in this room, where I didn't even know what a domain name was. I mean, I really had no clue what I was doing. But if I could go back to my old self and pass on some advice about how you can increase conversions, well, there would probably be 7 things that I would tell that person. Okay, so I thought what I would do is I would walk you guys through these 7 things where if you will get good at them, if you will put in the time and really hone these skills, then you will have the ability to go out there, buy clicks, and convert those clicks into money. Okay, and do it very consistently too. Because that's the aim of the game. You know, you guys want to be able to go and place ads and consistently have those clicks turn into sales. So whether you're promoting MOBE or you're promoting some other business, you want to be able to go and place little ads all over the internet. People click, they come to your website, and then out the other side comes what? Money, okay? Because you can't take clicks to the bank, but you can take commissions to the bank. Okay, so we have to learn, how do we convert traffic into money? And the big mistake that most people make in this business, like if I look around this industry, the number one mistake that just about everyone makes is they think that the lack of their money or the lack of their financial results so far is due to what? Lack of traffic. They think, if only I could get more traffic, or if only I could get better traffic, then I'd be making more money. Who in this room right now has generated more than 100 clicks? In other words, you've had 100 clicks or more go to a website. Okay, who's had more than 1,000? More than 10,000? Okay. All right, well that's plenty. Who's had less than 100? Hands up nice and high if you've generated less than 100 clicks. Okay. So you guys, first of all, you want to focus on picking one traffic method and getting it to the point where you can consistently get about 30 clicks per day. Okay, 30 clicks per day. In other words, you have one traffic method, whether it's Facebook pay-per-click, solo ads, whatever it is. The key is you focus on one. Okay, how many? One. Don't try and do too many, but you focus on one, and when you can consistently get 30 clicks a day to your website or someone else's website you're promoting, then you can learn the next skill. Okay, which is what I'm going to be talking about right now. Conversion. So how do we convert? So first of all, this is what I was just talking about. There's 3 levels that you should go through in this business. And people get in trouble when they try and skip levels. Okay, so the first level, this is where a lot of you are starting out right now. You want to learn first how to go and place ads, have people click the ads and go to your website. That is the first skill to learn. It makes absolutely no sense for you to be learning how to create your own sales video if you don't even know how to get traffic to a website yet. Does that make sense? Okay, so we do things in order. And I see too many people, they try and do things out of order. So, for example, they're trying to learn how to do webinars. They're trying to learn how to do product launches. They're trying to learn how to create products. And that person isn't even consistently getting clicks to their website every single day. Okay, so we have to do things in order. Now, once you can consistently get 30 clicks a day to your website, here's what you want to do next. Instead of sending the traffic to someone else's website, right, because you're promoting as an affiliate, you send the traffic to your own lead capture page. Now, who in this room has their own lead capture page? Hands up nice and high. What are you using to create your lead capture pages? MOBE sites? ClickFunnels? Lead pages? Okay. All right, well, you should be using MOBE sites. Okay, don't be using other things. But you can, sure, if you want to use ClickFunnels, if there was one out there that I would recommend besides MOBE sites, it might be ClickFunnels. But you certainly don't need more than one. Okay, so just focus on MOBE sites. So you get your lead capture page. So you've got that. You start sending the clicks to your lead capture page, and now you're starting to build your own list. Now that list is potentially the most valuable asset that you will ever build. And it truly is an asset. Okay, think of it in the same terms as like you would think of buying real estate. Who owns their own house? Okay, so your house is an asset. Well, your list is also an asset. But it's a very special asset. It's the only asset of its kind that can literally create income on demand. In other words, once you build up your list and you build a relationship with your list, you will have it's almost magical powers to send out a few emails and create money out of thin air. Okay, you really will. Especially if you will get good at what I'm about to show you. So your list is an asset, and how much money or the value of that list depends really on two things. Number one, the size of the list. So size does matter. And the second thing is the responsiveness of the list, which is far more important. If I give you a choice of having 100,000 email leads or 1,000 leads, how many would you like? Which one would you take? The correct answer is it depends, because there are plenty of people out there, plenty of internet marketing gurus or marketers who have a list of over 100,000 email addresses, yet they send out an email and they can't make a single sale. Okay, now why is that? It's because they haven't built a relationship with the list. It could be the age of the list. Maybe it's 10 years old and they haven't mailed the list recently. So the list has become very unresponsive. Okay, so it's not so much about size. Size does matter a bit, but it's more about the responsiveness. Now, to make your list more responsive, or in other words, to make that asset more and more valuable, what we have to do is we have to constantly nurture that list. How do we nurture the list? You email them daily? Okay. What else? You what? Valuable information. You educate them. You entertain them. Write that down. It's not just about educating them, it's also about entertaining them, because if all you do is you educate your list, in other words, you show them how to do stuff, you can make some money that way, but they're not going to stay engaged. Okay? So what you really want is you want them to become hooked on your character. Okay? So you have to learn to write with personality in your copy. Okay, when they're reading your emails, they have to be able to feel that there's a real person behind those words. So you don't write in an overly formal kind of tone. You don't start the emails off by saying, "To whom it may concern." You know, you don't talk like that to your audience. So you have to communicate to them as if this is the posture you want to have. I want you to pretend every time you send out an email, you've got a niece or a nephew, and they want to learn more about the internet marketing business. And they picked up the phone last week and they called you and they said, "I heard you're learning internet marketing. I hear that you have an internet marketing business. Will you teach me?" And you say to them, "Well, sure. From time to time, I'll send you a few emails and I'll teach you about this business." So every time you write that email, that's who you imagine you're writing to. Okay, a niece, a nephew, someone you care about, someone that you would communicate in a conversational way with, and someone that you would give them what they need drip by drip. Okay, not all at once. Every day there'd be some lesson. You'd try and tell it in an entertaining way, but you would communicate to them as if you knew them. Okay, so that's one way that we increase the value of our list. What else can we do besides daily emails? What else? Webinars. Okay, who's done webinars, or who does webinars in this room? Okay, one or two of you. I was at the Diamond Mastermind in Bali about 3 weeks ago. And I asked that same question, and a very similar percentage of people put up their hands, maybe about 2% of the room. So I said, okay, well, why aren't you guys doing webinars? You know that you're going to make more money if you start doing webinars. And they all came up with reasons like, it's too technical, I wouldn't know what to say, I'd be too scared to make a mistake or to make a fool of myself, I wouldn't even know where to start. Can any of you relate to any of those reasons? Okay, well, they all had those exact same reasons. So I said to them, okay, well, let's go through and do a webinar right now. And literally, right before their eyes, I showed them how to do a webinar, and I gave myself like a time limit of 10 minutes to create the webinar, start it, and also prepare some slides. So once I did it, they all looked at me and they thought, oh, that's easy. You know, we thought that was really hard. That's easy. And I said, okay, well, here's your homework. Tonight, everyone's going to do their first webinar. And I said, who's going to commit to doing that? And just about every hand in the room went up. And the room was about the same size as this room. And the next day I said, who did their webinar? And I would say about 80% of the people actually did. Okay, which tells you a lot about the people who make that commitment and go to Diamond. They're very serious about their business. So are you. Good. Future Diamond right there. Okay, so they all ended up doing their webinar. And I said to them, all right, if you will go home and you will commit to doing 2 webinars a week, here's what I'm going to promise you. I'm going to promise you that in the very beginning, you're probably going to suck at it. Okay, you're not going to be very good at it. And I said, don't worry, because when I first started doing webinars, I was terrible at it too. My very first webinar, I had 3 people on it, and my voice was trembling the whole time. I was in complete terror, and I got it done, and people said, hey, that was actually pretty good. And now I've done probably thousands of webinars. And now most of the webinars that I do, they're old webinars that I recorded and we automate. So we've got webinars playing right now that are actually recordings, but they simulate live webinars. But that's definitely one way that you can increase the value of your list. You can start doing webinars. What else? Give me one more, then we're going to get right into the content. Facebook posting. So in other words, connect to that audience on your email list, connect to them on Facebook, and communicate to them on Facebook. Now, why would you want to do that? Why isn't email by itself good enough? When they connect to you on Facebook, they see your face. They see who you are. Okay? They get to see what kind of things you post. They can go and look at your pictures. Now, maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's not. But they can get a sense of who you are. When you're just sending them emails, you're just one of 20 other marketers who are sending them emails. But when they can see you on Facebook, they can see that, wow, this is actually a real person. You become much more real. It's like when you do a webinar, it's the whole experience of going there and listening to you. They can hear your voice. They can hear your tonality. They can get a sense of who you are. It's a much higher level of connecting with them. Okay, it's just like us right now in this room. This is an even higher level of connecting than webinars because I can see you. I can look into your eyes, each of you. You can look back at me. This is a higher level. So there's different marketing channels which have a different level of connectedness, I guess you would call it. Now, when you can start adding in these multiple mediums like email, Facebook, webinars, that list becomes more and more valuable. Okay, becomes a lot more valuable. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start with the first one. I want you to write these down, and I want to keep this session fairly interactive. I don't want this to just be a bunch of theory because honestly, I don't have enough content if it's just going to be enough theory. So what I want to do is instead, I want to get you guys engaged and actually doing some of these things. Because if I just give you a bunch of theory, what's going to happen? 4 days from now, you're going to get on a plane, you're going to go home. Are you going to remember all the theory? No, you're going to forget 90% of it. But if I get you actually engaged in doing some of these things right here in this room, you will remember it. Okay? So, the very first one, the very first skill that you want to learn, if I can go back to myself in 2008, starting out and having no clue what I was doing, this is the very first thing that I would teach myself. Story-based emails. In other words, how to write emails and tell stories. Why are stories so important? People like stories. Yeah, we've been conditioned to like stories ever since we were small children and our parents read to us in bed. Okay, we love stories. I mean, that's why we go to the movies. That's why we get hooked on different series on Netflix, like House of Cards. Who's watching House of Cards? Not too many. Okay, well I was hooked. And recently I just got through Narcos. Anyone see Narcos? Okay. Well, I go through these little binges where I will start watching a series. I'll watch episode 1, episode 2, and it's actually quite dangerous because I can't stop. I'll watch it all night long if I have to. I'll get through the whole first season. And a lot of people are kind of like that. Maybe not as intensely like that, but once they start a story, they want to hear the ending. People love stories. When you open up your email inbox and you read an email and it's a story, you don't get annoyed and think, oh, this person's just trying to sell me something. Okay, at least that's not the first reaction. You get drawn into the story and you get some entertainment from it. So stories have the engagement, and that's really essential, guys, because here's what you're up against. Every time that you send an email to your list, let me show you what you've got, okay, what you are up against. This is my email inbox. I have how many unread emails? 78,105. Who what? Who purges them? No one purges them. I just let them keep on coming. They all go into my promotions folder. So these are all the different marketers out there that I've subscribed to over the years, and there's a lot of them. Who gets more than 10 emails a day from different marketers? More than 10 a day. Okay, so I'm not alone. Who gets more than 20? Okay, more than 30? All right, so you guys, you need to unsubscribe from some of those. Okay, that's the first piece of advice I'm going to give you. If those marketers aren't serving you right now, and if they're not aligned with you, where your focus needs to be, then you need to unsubscribe from them. Except for mine. Okay, don't unsubscribe from mine. Even if they are slightly annoying, don't unsubscribe from them, because I'm being serious. You might miss out some important notification. Okay, but see, I'm getting all kinds of emails. Some of these, don't know if I want you to see them. Okay, but this is my promotions folder. So let's have a look at a few of them. D. Scott Loftow, so he's in MOBE. He's a client. He's in one of our highest level mentorship programs. Jason Moffat, okay, he's a marketer. Mark Hoverson, anyone know who Mark is? Okay, Mark's a good marketer. A whole bunch of them, really. How many of them do you see me opening? None of them. Okay, now when I started out in this industry, I used to read just about every email or piece of marketing that people sent me. Here's my next piece of advice, and maybe you want to write this one down. If you're not making enough money in your business, it's possible that the majority of your time you are reacting and consuming, you are reacting to and consuming other people's marketing content. The majority of your time. That's not where the money is made in this business. The money is made in this business when you are creating the marketing material and having other people react to it. So if you spend 4 hours a day working on your online business and you spend 3.5 hours of those 4 hours just constantly looking at your email inbox, watching whatever product launch is going out right now, attending webinars and just consuming, just learning, filling your head with more stuff because you think that's the answer, that's not the answer. And that took me a number of years to really get. Okay, so I've actually switched off from consuming a lot of this. I still get the emails, but I ignore 99.9% of it. So that's something you should really understand. But the point of me showing you this is every time that you send out an email, those people that you're emailing, guess what? you're not the only marketer who's sending them emails. There's other marketers sending them emails. Now that might worry some of you. You might think, well, what chance do I have about competing with all these people? Well, the good news is it's actually not that hard to compete against them. Okay, if you will learn these skills that I'm going to show you here in this session today, you can actually differentiate yourself really quite easily. Okay, so don't worry too much about that. So, story-based emails. What does that mean? That means that you send out emails, you tell stories, and is that it? Do we just tell stories? Do we tell stories about what we did today and wrap it up and say, hey, I'll tell you tomorrow's story later on? And no. The story must have a point. Okay, so every time that you create any marketing material, whether it's an email, whether it's a video, whether it's anything, a post on Facebook, this is the next valuable insight, and this has been worth a lot of money to me. So I hope you really get this. And I always show people this, whether it's a supercharge, a diamond. I love showing this example because so many people don't get it. Again, if you will just get this one lesson, this will be worth everything that you paid to come here. Okay? So here's what happens. You got a prospect, they opt into your lead capture page. You now have an email address. And by the way, guys, remember, every time that you see one of those little notifications, you just got an email lead, don't look at that as an email address. Look at that as a real person. Somewhere around the world, that's a real person who was sitting behind their computer. They saw your website. That's a real person with real emotions, real desires, real fears. So always remember that. So they opted in. They're now on your list. And now what happens is, this is where they are. The money is still in their pocket. Where do we want that money? We want that money in our pocket. So how are we going to transfer that money from their pocket to ours? Well, we have to really do two things. Whenever someone makes a decision to buy and pull out their credit card and type in their digits and send some money, that decision, normally that's made for two reasons. Okay, that's made to get benefits or to avoid some kind of pain. And one of the best triggers to get people to buy is to avoid the pain. Why do you think that is? Because the more pain that someone is in, the more motivated they are to actually do something about it. Think of it this way. Imagine if you were a chiropractor. Okay, and is there any chiropractors in the room? Okay, there's one back there. Do you have a website, by the way?
Actually, it's my husband who's the chiropractor.
Okay. All right, okay. Well, so imagine you're a chiropractor, you've got a website, and you are selling some kind of product, some kind of maybe back brace that people wear, which stops them from having back problems. And I'm just using this as an example because I have some back problems right now. That's what happens when you spend too much time in front of your computer, hunched over. It's not good for your back. Okay? So make sure when you are working at home, that's my next tip, every hour get up, walk around. It's very important. Yeah, stand up. So, that person who doesn't yet have back pain, are they going to go and buy a back brace? No, because they don't recognize they have a problem yet. Okay, and if you are selling the solution to a problem that someone does not recognize they have yet, that's a very, very hard sale to make. Because you have to first explain to them they have a problem before you present the solution. It's much better that you focus on people who already know they have a problem. Okay, they already know they have a problem because then they're motivated to go and get a sale. Now that's my next piece of advice to you. If you're in MOBE right now, if you're a MOBE consultant and you're promoting MOBE, stop promoting MOBE as an income vehicle to people who are not in pain. Because that's going to be an uphill sale. Okay, that's going to be a very hard sale to make. It makes absolutely no sense to go and try and market like the 21 steps to someone who's perfectly happy with the amount of income they're making. Okay, you want to be marketing to people who are fed up with not making enough money, their job. They are somewhat entrepreneurial. Okay, they have those tendencies to want to start a business. That's your target market. Okay, so anyway, coming back to this example, people make that decision to buy when they can avoid a big problem or get some kind of big benefit. Every time that you ever create marketing material, whether it's an email, whatever it is, here's what I want you to do. And I want you to do this right now. Everyone take out a piece of paper, draw a line right down the middle, okay, and let's focus on the 21 steps. I'm going to use that as an example because we all know what that is. Okay? Now, on the left side, we're going to write down the benefits. What are the benefits of getting the 21 steps? And you got pros, you got some cons, you've got some downsides. Okay, so I'm going to write here downside. What could potentially stop someone from buying the 21 steps? Even if they really want it, maybe there's one thing that stops them from buying. Don't yell out the answer yet. What I want you to do is I want you to take 1 minute and I want you to write down as many of these answers as you can. Remember, if you don't do the exercise, the lesson won't sink in and you're not going to get value out of this, okay? So we got 1 minute. If we could play some music, 1 minute. Write down all the benefits of getting those 21 steps for your prospect and what could potentially get in the way of them buying. Go. All right, so benefits. Yell out some of your answers. Why would you get the 21 steps? Yes?
Coaching.
Coaching. Okay, great. We got coaching, what else?
Your lifestyle.
All right, someone said lifestyle.
Money.
Lifestyle, money. What else?
Stop being discontent.
What is it?
Stop being discontent.
Stop being discontent. Okay?
Happiness is what he's saying. Joy.
Freedom. What specifically though? I'm talking about like these are good things. These are outcomes of the outcome. But why specifically would I say, oh, I want that 21 steps? Yeah, I'm ready to buy right now. Okay, there's a done for you component to it. Definitely. There are parts of it that are done for you, like the follow-up, the phone follow-up. I'm just going to put D, F, Y. Done for you. What else?
The cost of having a backup.
Okay, so the cost of perhaps building that team yourself. Like if you wanted to go and hire your own team of phone sales professionals, build the CRM, manage all the leads, allocate it, pay all the commissions, hire the accounting staff, that would take money, that would take time. It's healing their pain. Okay, what sort of pain? Okay, financial pain. Maybe they're in debt and they see this is the way to get out. If I can learn how to do this business, then I can possibly get out of debt. What else?
From home.
Recognition. That's a good one, and that's not something that people would normally say, but that's actually a very powerful trigger. Recognition, absolutely. Because all of us, that's a very powerful trigger that we all have deep down. Why do you think that we do things like we give out these big rings and the Rolex watches and so on? You think it's because I like to just give out jewelry? Part of it is I like to recognize, because I know that's a very powerful driver. Recognition. It makes people feel good.
Family.
Family? Okay, to be able to provide for their family? Absolutely. Okay, so you got all of these reasons. So I might add in there high ticket commissions. Maybe they see it promoted and they think, oh, I love the sound of making 1,250 per sale. That sounds good. Now I had, just before I came on stage, we had a guy in Singapore called Chow. Do you know who Chow is?
Yes.
He's one of our diamond consultants. And he had a titanium, a platinum, a diamond, titanium and platinum all come in 24 hours.
Wow.
How much is that? Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. So, that is 18,800 for one, plus another 8,800 for another. So it's about $27,000. Okay, that's not a typical day for him. I mean, I think he's made about 400K or something like that. He's a seasoned marketer, so he's not new. He's been learning these skills for a while. But my point was, people hear about that, the idea of being able to make big commissions in one day, and they love that. That's what got me into this industry. When I first started in late 2008, I went to a webinar, a recruiting webinar. This would have been about September 2008, and I must have been 21, 22 at the time. So I go to this recruiting webinar. I didn't even know what a webinar was. And they're talking about financial freedom. They're talking about being able to make 1,000, 5,000, 9,000. And I thought to myself, you know what? Wow, if I could make even just a few of those per month, that would be nice. That would be nice. The odd $5,000, $9,000 commission here and there. So that's what got me interested, big ticket commissions. And certainly a very powerful motivating factor with what we have with the MOBE Consultant program is phone sales professionals calling back your leads and closing those deals for you. Because how many of you like to sell? Put up your hand if you actually love to sell. Okay. There's a few of you in the room, and that's actually a very good thing if you do. And I hope that by the end of this, you can all feel a little bit better about selling. We'll get to that later on. But I know that most of you don't want to be on the phone all day calling back leads and doing that. You would rather just go about your business. So the fact that you have done for you phone sales, that's good. What are some potential negatives? For example, someone's getting an email from you and you're talking about the 21 steps and they think, wow, this looks really good, but there's just one little nagging thought in my mind. What could that potentially be? Scam. Maybe it's a scam. Some of those people amuse me, just the way they everything's a scam.
Takes too much time.
Takes too much time. They think, all right, well, if I do this, am I really going to be able to do this for a few hours a day, or is this going to be a full-time thing? Too much time? Maybe they don't have the $49. It's possible. Lack of interest, that's a good one. Maybe they are just blatantly not interested. And here's what you have to realize. Most of your leads, that's the category they're going to be in. You're going to go and generate 100 leads and you're going to have maybe 90 of them who just blatantly are not interested. So you got to learn to accept that. Most people are going to say no to you. And this is a business where it all comes down to the numbers. For every lead that I've generated, or that has been generated through the consultants who promote our pages, and by this point there must be well over 1 million email leads. Okay, over 1 million leads. A very small percentage of them, could be less than 1%, say yes and take out a credit card. Yet from that very small 1%, we've now grossed over $150 million. So even if only 1 out of 100 people say yes to you, that's still, believe me, that's still enough for you to get everything you want and to make very good money. Okay, so 1%, 2%, that's part of the business. What else? Fear. Okay, maybe they've tried a bunch of other things before. They've tried a bunch of other things before and they think to themselves, am I just getting excited about this, and will this be another thing that I try that I still don't get results with? Can anyone relate to that? Is anyone in that category where before you brought, you thought, oh, will this end up being another one of those things? Yeah, I had that fear as well. When I first got into this industry, I thought, oh, am I going to try and learn how to do this and be 5 years from now still not getting results? So I had all of those fears too. Okay, but here's my point. This prospect that now just came into your funnel, they're there, we want them here. What we need to do in all of our marketing, our story-based emails, is we need to draw out the benefits and we need to overcome the downsides. Okay, and I hope you write that down because this is really, really important. Everything that we do, every piece of content, should do one or the other, or potentially both. Okay? So here's an example of that. They opt into your funnel and you send them your day one email. And your day one email is talking about the done for you components Okay, so you're talking about how with this business model, you don't have to do phone sales. Okay, there's actually a professional team that will do that for you. All you have to do is go and get traffic, generate leads, and then when you get a buyer, they're going to follow up and they're going to handle your phone sales for you. Okay, so maybe they didn't know that and they read your email and they think, oh wow, that actually sounds really good. But they're not yet ready to buy. So the next day, on day 2, you send out another email, and this time you're talking about lifestyle. And there's a picture of you on the beach in Mexico. Picture. Below that picture, you tell a story. Okay, so the email might start like this. It might say, hey, I'm sending this email to you from Los Cabos in Mexico. I'm here for a high-end mastermind which I invested $10,000 into with several other hundred driven entrepreneurs from all around the world. You know, not that long ago, I couldn't imagine being able to travel to a place like this and stay at a 4-star resort and be among these kind of like-minded people. But it's just unreal. I'm here now, I'm loving it, and all I can think to myself is, I am so glad that 6 months ago, when someone presented this offer to me, that I overcome that little voice of skepticism, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try this. What have I got to lose? So I took out my credit card, I paid the $49, best decision I ever made. Here I am today. Okay? And at the next one of these that I go to, I want to see you too. So here's what I want you to do. Go to this link and watch this short video. It goes for 17 minutes. And in fact, for you, I've arranged to get you a free trial, so you don't even have to pay the $49. You can actually try before you buy and see what you think about it. So go here, watch the video, apply for it, get your free account, and then reply back to this email as soon as you're in. Talk soon, your name. Did you get all that? You're writing that down? Okay, so good. So you send out the email. It's a story. It's a short little story, which just took 30 seconds to come up with. Now, maybe you haven't done that yet, so it's going to take you a little bit longer. But I promise you, if you do this every day soon, you're just going to be able to rattle off emails just like that. Okay, it won't even take you that long. And the biggest mistake that a lot of you will make is you'll go to sit down and write the email and you will overly judge it, and what should take you maybe 20, 30 minutes will end up taking 2, 3 hours. And do you think you want to do something every day when it's going to take 2 or 3 hours? No, so you won't do it. You'll send out the odd email here and there, but you won't be consistent and you won't be persistent. So it'll be very hard to make sales. So we're going to make this easy for ourselves. And what I recommend you do is you just pick up your phone. You pick up your phone, you go to the voice recorder section, and you speak into your phone, just like I just spoke out loud now. Pretend you're talking to your niece, your nephew, and just tell them a short story. And then at the end, relate the story to the offer. So the offer that I just used was what? 17minutesonly.com. Okay? You always relate it to the offer, but then you've got to finish with something else. What do you finish with? Call to action. Okay, that's the most important part. CTA, write that down. Call to action. Every piece of marketing content that we put out there, we have to have a call to action. Okay, so you can tell all the stories you want, but if you don't relate it to the offer and then have a strong call to action, you're not going to get sales. Okay, so that's day 2. They see the picture of you on a beach in Mexico. And they think, oh, well, maybe this is for real. There's the person, they're on a beach. Okay, maybe this is real. And they get to see you as well, so you become a bit more real. And what happens is, each day that you do this, they are slowly being nudged in this direction towards making a buying decision. Now, every time that you send out a piece of marketing, whether it's an email, a video, whatever it is, you're either moving them closer to buying or away from buying. how might you move them away from buying? Boring them? Yep, you could. You could bore them. Maybe you make it way too overcomplicated. You start telling them that, oh, you're going to need to get a domain, you're going to need to get hosting, you're going to learn to get WordPress, and then you're going to need to learn how to hyperlink text and then embed YouTube videos. And I'll show you how to resize those videos too and change the pixels dimensions as well. Blah, 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 blah. And you go on and you overcomplicate it. Do you think they're going to want to buy? No. Now, is it misleading to make it much more simpler and not tell them all that stuff? No. I'll tell you why. Because it's kind of like when you went to primary school. You didn't start off learning calculus. Okay, they started off by teaching you the very basic things, and they gave you the building blocks, and then later on you learned about those more advanced things. So when you're marketing to people, you want to simplify everything. And also always remember, just because you're finding it complicated, maybe that's something you're doing wrong. That's not necessarily going to be their experience. Because I'll almost guarantee this, just about every single one of you, you're overcomplicating this business. At the end of the day, this business is quite simple. We send traffic to an offer. And how much money we make comes down to quality and quantity of that traffic. That's all we do. But we all overcomplicate it. I did the same thing in the beginning. Okay, but back to this. So now they're here. They're getting closer and closer to making that buying decision. And each day we email them, and finally we get them right here. They're ready to buy, but they won't take out their credit card yet. Why not? Because maybe in the back of their mind they think, is this all just some elaborate scam? Did that Matt Lloyd guy go and rent out an entire resort and put several hundred people in there, all as part of this big elaborate scheme to get $49 out of me? Some of them are literally that paranoid. So maybe they still think it's a scam. And maybe what's really holding them back is they think, if I do this, is my wife or is my husband going to see that on the credit card statement and say, oh, another one of these things you got? My mother used to say the same thing when she saw me buying all these programs. She used to say, don't get sucked in. It's all a con. So maybe that's what they're worried about. Okay? So then you send an email and you tell a story. And you tell a story about how, and only if it's true, about how you worried about that. Okay, in the very beginning you worried, is this actually real, is this legitimate? You tell a story about how one day you were sitting behind your computer and that was your big concern. And then maybe you tell a story about you being here. Now, if you're here, then you can see this is all very real. Okay, so you tell them that story. And they read that email, and that is the one thing that allows them to overcome this part that's stopping them from buying. They take out a credit card and they buy. That is how we get sales. Okay? It is just a constant process of chipping away at the buyer's resistance. Some people, you only have to chip away for 3 days and they buy. Some people, you have to chip away for literally a year or more. I'll prove it to you. How many people in this room were getting emails from me, my marketing from me, and it took you more than 1 year before you ever brought a MOBE product? How many people? All right, cool, we've got some back here. Okay, tell me, how long did it take? How long?
From April 2015 until this year.
So you opted in April 2015? Or you were getting my emails at that point?
I was getting your email.
How long had you been getting my emails for?
I guess about 6 months.
Okay, just about 6 months. Now, can I ask, why didn't you buy right away?
Scam.
You thought it was possibly a scam. So for 6 months, that prevented you from buying. Yet here you are. So somehow you must have overcome that objection in your mind. How did you overcome that?
I was feeling a lot of pain, financial pain.
Okay.
And you look very sincere,
Okay.
and I liked the big commissions. I really did. So I thought, let me check it out. And that's what I did.
Now, when you say I looked sincere, when you say I looked sincere, was that in a video? You were watching a video?
And the videos, yes.
Okay.
I've been in lots of programs where the speakers look so Hollywood, so polished, so over the top.
And you found me so unfreshingly unpolished.
Well,
It's okay.
I didn't say that right, did I?
All right. Well, I actually get that quite a lot. I get that quite a lot.
Clean-cut young man,
Yep.
yes.
Okay. No, I actually do get that quite a lot. People say that when I saw your video, you looked like you were genuine. You looked real. Right? So here's my point. For 6 months, you wanted to buy. You liked the idea of big commissions, but this one little thing was holding you back from buying. But you kept on getting my videos. And over time, you started to trust. You started to trust a little bit more and more. Every time you got one of those emails, every time you got a video. And then finally, at the right time, when you were ready to buy, or when you were near ready to buy, an email shows up in your inbox, there's another video. It could have just been some Ask Matt Lloyd video that I was doing. But you watch it and you think, you know what, this looks real. I'm ready to buy. Now what if after 5 months, if I'd given up on sending emails, I thought, oh, she's never going to buy. That's just a lead in this segment of my list that's never going to buy. Oh, she wouldn't be here today. Now, who's your sponsor, by the way? Do you know?
No, I don't
Okay.
know.
All right. Well, you know, someone out there probably placed an ad at some point. You clicked on the ad. And if you're here, are you platinum? Are you diamond?
Titanium.
Okay, you're titanium. So someone was spending money on marketing and got a big commission. Okay? And they wouldn't have got that if we'd stopped persisting in the follow-up. Okay, so that's a great example. Now, just about every one of these events, I always ask that question, and sometimes there are people in the room who are literally getting emails for 4 or 5 years. I find people who they say, oh, Matt, I got on your list way back in 2010. And I say, how long did it take you to buy? And they said, oh, I just bought this year. And it's been like 5 years. Okay? So that's why you've got to be very persistent in doing this. Now, it's no extra work for you guys because, remember, this is now part of your lifestyle. To send out emails every single day, you've got to look at this as, this is my new lifestyle. Okay, this is my new way of life. So you don't look at the manual writing of an email as a chore anymore. Okay, this has to become part of what you do. Because until you are all in and you fully commit to this business, this is now part of my life. It's not just a little hobby business I do on the side. This is now part of my daily routine. Just like brushing my teeth. Every day I send an email to my list. You're going to be sending the email anyway, because you're going to be sending it to people who just join your list. So it doesn't take you any extra work to also send the email out to your whole list and the people who've been on your list for a year to get that email, and then maybe that email is the one that gets them to buy. Okay, so every single day you want to be following up. Every piece of content has to be moving them either, has to be drawing out a benefit or overcoming the downside. The $49. You can make fun of that. Okay, that's one way you can overcome that. I'll just give you an email right now. Okay, so here's an email off the top of my head. You're going to tell a story. We're going to overcome that objection. So the email, the subject line could be, I laughed when I heard this, ... The email starts, hey, so I was just at a live internet marketing event, and I only say this if it's true, and there were a lot of people there, and I ended up sitting next to a guy who told me how serious he was about starting a business. And he told me how he wanted to generate 6 figures, over $100,000 in the next 12 months. And he told me every single reason why. And at the very end of it, I asked him, well, what sort of business have you looked at? And he says, well, I've looked at some online businesses. And I said, well, what's the typical, what's stopping you from moving forwards? And he said, price. And I said, well, how much is it? And he said, $1,000. And I couldn't help but laugh to myself. Not in a mean way, but here was someone who told me he'd just spent 20 minutes telling me about how serious he was about generating hundreds of thousands of dollars per year and changing his whole life, and yet he wasn't willing to be resourceful enough to go and find $1,000 to start an online business. And I thought to myself, that just doesn't make sense. If you are 100% serious about starting a business, a big part about starting business is raising the capital to go and do it. Okay, all entrepreneurs have to do it. And especially people that I work with. Now, when you work with me and you join my team, I am going to ask you to go and find the money to start a business. But here's the good news. It's not going to cost you $1,000. It's not going to cost you $500. In fact, it won't even cost you $100. All you will have to invest today is $49. And $49 will get you your own one-on-one trainer. It will get you access to the same training course that I went through to learn how to do the business I'm doing right now. And you can get started immediately. Are you ready? Are you serious? Great, then go here. Your affiliate link. Email me back once you're in. Talk soon, your name. Okay, that's the email. Now in that email, see what we did. We told a story and we kind of made fun of, not of someone's financial situation, that's not what we're doing, but we're making fun of the fact that this person wants to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars, yet they won't even invest $1,000. Now the $1,000 is so much higher than the $49 that once we overcome that objection of investing $1,000, do you think that they will spend $49? Of course they will. Okay? We finished with a call to action. Click my link. Get started now. And then I always like to finish my emails, well, not so much these days, but when I was starting out, with email me back once you've got started. Because then you know once they brought, and also you can then reply to them, which they love. Okay, they love getting that because, trust me, they're not getting one-on-one communication from the other 20 marketing gurus. That's the one advantage all of you in this room have. You can do that extra one-on-one follow-up. And then you know if they brought. Now, by the way, that extra one-on-one follow-up, if you will get good at it, your numbers, your conversion numbers will be so far above and beyond what someone at my level can do, because I can't do the one-on-one follow-up these days. We just get too many leads. But when I was starting out back in 2009, 2010, I did do the one-on-one follow-up. So if I got a $49 buyer, I'd take that person's email address, go and find them on Facebook, add them as a friend, and send them a chat message. I'd find them on LinkedIn. I would do whatever I had to do to find them and to communicate with them. And through communicating with them, I would find out what else they needed, present those solutions, and instead of being a $100 buyer, they would then turn into a $4,000 buyer. We have a guy called Marcin. He's one of our diamond consultants. And Marcin, he actually lives in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. And he was at our Diamond Mastermind in Bali a few weeks back. Marcin just crossed $100,000 in commissions. Guess how much money he spent to generate over $100,000? Not zero. Not that good. No, he spent $5,000. Primarily on Facebook marketing. And the reason why he's been able to turn $5,000 into over $100,000 is because when Marcin gets a lead, he will follow up. He will send them emails. He'll find them on LinkedIn. He'll send them a message on WhatsApp. He'll find like 20 different channels if he has to, just to get in touch with them and communicate with them. Okay, and for that lead, for the buyer, like let's say someone just brought $49 from Marchand, they get a real sense that, wow, this guy really actually cares about my success. So his team in MOBE, the little team that he's built up now that's resulted in over $100,000, he's got them in Facebook groups, he's communicating with them. The more that you will do that for your leads, the higher your conversions are going to be. And again, that's the one big advantage all of you have right now. Okay, you can do that far better than I can do that, or John Chow can do that, or Darren Selkeld can do that. We can't do that anymore because the volume. Okay, but you can. Okay, so that's one. I better move along because that was meant to take 10 minutes. All right, so I'm a bit behind. All right, once I start rambling on about marketing, I get off track. Okay, create your own Facebook community. I'm going to show you how to do this right now. This is your homework for tonight. Very simple. Did someone just groan at doing homework? All right, so we want to go to Facebook. And the reason why we want to have Facebook groups is because, number one, if people don't open our emails, they're going to see our marketing on Facebook. Number two, when you have your own group and you are the owner of the group, you're the leader of the group, what does that do for your positioning? Authority. You become the authority figure. You are the guru. You are the leader. Okay, so it's really good for your positioning. Number three, social proof. Social proof. Marchand, the guy I was just telling you about, when one of his people upgrade, he makes a big deal about it. He's got all of his MOBE buyers, all the people who've got the 21 steps and different products. He adds them into the group. Okay, just like you guys have seen with all of my groups. And when one of them makes a buying decision, let's say they upgrade to silver, he will congratulate them. He will say, everyone, let's congratulate this person for investing in the Silver Masterclass. And then everyone else sees that. They're all watching. And then if one of his people make a sale, he will make an enormous deal about that. He will say, let's congratulate this person from this place. They just made $1,250. Okay? So all of these extra little things you do make a really big difference in what your overall conversions are. They really do. Now, I should have asked, who's got a Facebook group? Who has their own Facebook group? Okay, so about maybe 15% of you.
4 days.
You've had one for 4 days? Good. How many people do you have in it? Well, that's really good. So you got over 1,000 people in your group.
Right.
That's good.
Stephen Branfield came over Sunday and we worked on it for 3 days. He'll be here tomorrow.
Yes, so Stephen Bransfield, he's one of the MOBE mentors, and he actually, 22 years old, he was my marketing assistant. Do you all know the story of Stephen? You'll hear about it tomorrow, but I made him fly all the way around the world and to be my marketing assistant, and he did that for 6 months, but now he's a very sharp marketer.
Did you sleep on your couch?
He didn't sleep on my couch, he slept on a couch. Because he didn't have an apartment. I put him on the spot. I said, Stephen, if you're serious about this role, when can you get in? He said, 3 weeks. And I said, you got 3 days. And he got there. Took him 2 days to travel there, but he got there. Okay, so that's good, Ken. So you got a group with 1,000 people. Well, you don't need to have 1,000 people, even though that's enormous social proof. But all you guys need to do tonight is I want you to go to groups in the menu here on Facebook. And this is freezing up on me for some reason, but I want you to click on Create Groups. Okay, so you'll see that. Under Explore, we click on Groups. So what we're doing here is we're creating a group that ideally we want it to be where you have to apply to get in. Okay, so you're going to give your group a name. What are you going to call your group? You could call it Los Cabos if you want. But I recommend you do it something related to internet marketing and working with you. Okay, so it could be your name's inner circle. It could be your name's mastermind. So Matt Lloyd's mastermind, Matt Lloyd's private inner circle, Matt Lloyd's daily traffic tips, Matt Lloyd's conversion secrets. a fan page, and a website.
What if you already have a fan page and a website, basically with your name and something else? Could you then go ahead and create the group with the same name
You
as your
could.
fan page?
You could. You could
Okay.
absolutely. Yep. You could create it. Yeah. The name. I mean, the name's important, but don't overthink it. Just pick up a name, and then I want you to click on Create Group. See that top right? We click on Create Group, and we give it a name. So I might call it Matt Lloyd's. Let me zoom in so you can see that. Okay, then we need to add some people. So, yeah, as far as adding people, add people who won't mind being added. Don't go and add 1,000 people who don't want to be in your group, but add about 30 people who won't mind. Okay, so Tasha's in the audience. I'm going to add her. I'm going to add Jennifer. She's not my friend. Jennifer, why won't you accept my friend request? I'm going to add John Chow, Shakir. Okay, so you want to add about 20, 30 people. You want to do that because when you start sending out emails to this person and saying, hey, come join my group, you don't want them to walk in your group and there's 3 people there. That's like a party on Friday night and there's 2 people there. That doesn't look good for you. Okay, so we want this to look like it's a success. So if you have to add in your kids or your uncle, whatever you need to do, get at least 30 people. Choose an icon. Okay, so I chose the skull. You can choose whatever you want. So now it's creating the group. And now what we want to do next is at the top of that group, we want to have a call to action. And we want to pin the post. Now what that means is when someone joins your group, there's your post at the top and there's a call to action. Okay, so there's an introduction and a call to action for the group. Okay, and see this photo at the top? Well, there's no photo right now, but we can add a photo as well. So if you want, go and take a photo down on the beach, and then you add that to your group. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a post at the top. Welcome to, let me zoom in, my private mastermind community. Here I will share some of my best strategies for generating an income online from home. Here are your first steps. Notice that whenever you market, you tell people what to do. You don't ask them what to do. You tell them what to do. Step 1, do this. Step 2, click here. Step 3, email me back once you're in. Okay, you always have to have strong language in telling people what to do. Just because you want to make it really easy and really clear. Okay, you don't want to present a whole bunch of options. You want to say, step 1, do this. Step 2, do that, and so on. Here are your first steps. Once you have done these, private message me. Actually, I'm going to say comment below. Step 1. Get your free of the 17 minutes of this marketing system. You'll get a coach, personal coach, and can try it out for 7 days, no cost. Okay, and what are we going to put here? Our affiliate link for what? That's right. Step 2. Decide on your 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year revenue goals, and put your answers in your comment below. Step 3, I'm just making this up. Do we need a step 3? We don't need a step 3, do we? Okay, that's it. Nice and simple. Okay, so then I post that, and then what I want to do is I want to pin this post so it's always at the top. So every time that someone else comments, it's not going to push it right down the bottom. So I right click and I see where it says pin post here. I click that and there we go. Okay, zoom out. So now every single time someone joins my group, and they join my group by getting my emails, and in my emails I tell them to come and join my group. So what happens is they request to join. They see 30 other people in the group. They see a description of the group over here. That's your next step. See where it says add a description? Just write a short paragraph about what your group's going to be about. But they join your group, and the first thing that they see is welcome to my private mastermind, step 1, step 2. Now, when they comment below, what are you going to do? This is the really important part. Anytime that your leads, especially your new leads, take the effort to actually do something, you must reward them. And you might think that you responding is not really a big reward. In their eyes, it is. Because you're one of those 20 marketing gurus who are sending them emails. They don't, if you're new, they don't know you're new. They might think that you're making all this money. They might think that you've been doing this for 5 years. They don't know any of that. Okay, I'm not saying that we're going to make that up or mislead them on that. What I am saying is that they have a perception of you that because you're sending out emails, because you have your own Facebook group, for the majority of your leads, you are several steps ahead of them because they don't have their own email list yet. Most of the leads that you're generating, they haven't learned how to send an email to a list yet. They don't have their own Facebook groups. So in their eyes, you look like you've been doing this for a while. So when you acknowledge them, when you respond to them, they think, wow, okay, this person's actually real. Awesome. And then they might send you a message, and they might say, hey, I'm getting your emails, thanks. You respond back to them, and what don't you do? You don't start sending them your link and saying, hey, all right, great, you need to buy this now, and then we'll talk. No. You start asking them questions. So you start to build that relationship. You ask them questions like, oh, how long have you been doing internet marketing for? Great. Why are you wanting to do this? What's your main driving factor behind you wanting to start a business? And you start asking them questions like that and then getting to know them. Okay, and then every day in your group, you're posting content. You're posting content that's going to move them closer to making a buying decision. So an example of great content that you could start doing immediately could be a short little video that you shoot here. Could be a picture. Could be a picture of the resort with you in it. And you're talking about lifestyle. But every single day you're posting content. How long does it take for you to post content in this group? 5 minutes. Okay, so this doesn't have to take you long. But again, this has to become part of your daily routine. This is what you have to do if you want to do really well in this business. You have to start to look at these things like sending emails, marketing on Facebook. This has to become part of your daily routine. Okay, this is your new life. You have to accept this is what I do every single day. And you got to have the discipline to do it every day because at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. Just about everyone in this room is going to go and create the group. But unfortunately, very few people in this room, and I wish I could change this, but I'm not sure if I can, very few of you will still be doing this every single day, 30 days from now. But I will guarantee you that the people in this room who become the top earners of tomorrow, that's the category you're going to be in. You're going to be doing these things every day from now. And it doesn't have to be that hard. It's 5 minutes a day.
Let's say you send someone new to this page. You tell them to go to the page and check it out. And he's interested in joining. Where on the page would he enter and make a request to become a part of the group?
Yep. So when they see the group, it's going to have join group or request to join group. They're going to click that, and then over here, see where it says members? You're going to see another another one here. If someone tries to join this group, it would pop up right now and it would say, this person wants to join. And then you click on approve. Okay, so you are the bouncer to your own group. You let people in or you say no. Back there.
I have a list of thousands of people, but I have a key list of about 70 people, but
Okay.
they're not my Facebook friends. So how can I add them to my group? I have to send them a special request?
Well, there's a few ways you could do it. So if you have a small list, let's say you have a list of less than 100 people, you could take each email address, go and search for it in the field here. So for example, if I search for my own personal email address, you should see me in a drop down. There I am. Because Facebook knows that my personal email address is linked to me. So if you have a bunch of email addresses, you can go and search for them and then find the accounts of those people, click the name, add them as a friend.
What if you don't have the email address?
If you don't have their email address, so that would mean you don't yet have your own list. So you've got to go and build the list. In other words, you've got to get a lead capture page and start placing ads and build up the list. So the question is, what type of content? So any content that draws out the benefits or overcomes the downsides. So it could be, for example, like I said, a photo, it could be a video. You guys should be going crazy creating content right now. All right, while you're here, I can usually pick out the people who are going to go on and make a lot of money in this business just by observing at these events. And they're the people who, they are taking out their phones, they're taking pictures, and they're starting to market, they're starting to put it online, and they're being proactive here at the event. They are leveraging the opportunity of being here in this environment and using it to create a lot of content, even if it makes them uncomfortable. Okay? Because I guarantee there's people in this room right now, you're in the category where you don't necessarily want to do those things. You don't want to go out there and start pulling out your phone and making videos because it's unnatural. I used to be in that category. But it's whether you decide to just do it anyway. Okay, that's what it really comes down to. One more question, then I got to move on.
That looked easy. You did that, but I did that with some of my lists on my solo ads that I did, and I got multiple people with that same name or similar type of name.
Add them all.
Huh?
You just add them all as a friend, and one of them's going to be the right person.
Add them all.
I'm serious.
I can do that, seriously?
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh. Even though they might be a different gender?
It could be someone from Australia who has no idea what internet marketing is. Just add them. Yeah, it could be your next sale. So don't worry about little things like that. Just plow on through. Okay, so that's your group. Every single day, you're marketing in your group. Now, when you send out your emails, you invite people into your group. Okay, so tell them to come and join your group. And don't just say in the PS, hey, join my group. There's no benefit in that. Instead, you have to really paint the picture of the benefit. So you might say, in your PS, you might say, I just posted a 3-minute video where I'm interviewing one of the $1 million earners in this business, and he revealed something just completely incredible. This one tip is going to be worth a lot of money to me, and it can be worth a lot of money to you. If you want to know what it is, join my Facebook group. Link. So you have the link to your Facebook group, and you get that from right here. See this link at the top of Facebook? That's your Facebook group link. So you put that in your emails, they click it, and then they're going to click on join, and then you're going to come on later that day and you're going to click accept. Now they're in your group. Okay, so you start to build your own little community. Next thing that you want to get really good at is crafting irresistible offers. This is the one skill that will pay you a lot of money. And what do I mean by crafting irresistible offers? Here's what's going to happen. When you start marketing the people, you're going to have people right here ready to buy. In fact, you could have an email list right now. You've been sending them emails. People haven't been buying, and you think, oh, no one on my list wants to buy. You could have 5 people right here, right now, almost ready to buy. And if you do this one thing, you might be able to get 3 out of the 5 to buy. And that is, give them a reason to act now. Okay, you want to write that down. Everything we do in our marketing, we must always give them a reason to act now. Because you could do the best job of painting the picture of all the benefits of the 21 steps. But they can very easily say, oh, that's wonderful. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this tomorrow. And when they say that, do they end up getting it? No. When people put things off, no. They change their mind. Life gets in the way. So we must always give them a reason to act now. So here's an example. You might send out an email and you might say, you explain what the system is, and then at the end of that you say, I'm going to make you an irresistible offer right now. I am looking for 3 people that I can mentor. Actually, no, we can change that. I am looking for 1 person that I can mentor and help that person get their first sale as soon as possible. Now, normally I charge XYZ per hour, okay, for consulting. But for the next person who responds and takes action and emails me back a response, I'm going to give them a free 1-hour session where I will show them how to get up and running. Okay? So that's your call to action. That's your irresistible offer. Now, if you don't want to give them 1 hour of your time, it could be something else. It could be an ad template. Maybe you went and did a solo ad. Someone was talking to me in the elevator and they wrote the solo ad and they got their first silver masterclass. Who was that? Okay, I think it was this morning. I was in the elevator with someone and, oh, that was you. Yes. So you got started in MOBE. You came to the I Am Freedom and where? In Orlando. Okay, and sorry, what's your first name again? Andrea?
Yes.
Okay, so Andrea came to the I Am Freedom in Orlando, went to the Home Business Summit, and you got platinum there?
Platinum there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? Tell us about the solo ad.
Yeah, then I started my coaching and I learned how to run solo ads. And I started running, and 2 weeks after, I sold an MLR. Mm-hmm. And a few days after, that person upgraded to a silver.
Wow.
But when I saw that he purchased the 21 steps, I emailed him and I said, congratulations on your awesome decision to join us. I'm sure you won't regret this. This is your first step to a successful online business. And I'm here for you. If you need anything or any assistance, always contact me. And then a few days later, he upgraded to silver.
Now, MLR and silver, they became the same.
No, not MLR, the $49.99.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, I got mixed
So they
up.
got the 49 and then they
Yeah.
got silver. So you
Yes.
made $1,250.
Yes.
How did that feel?
Awesome. I started
Yeah.
screaming when I saw it.
Good. Yeah, the first sale, you never forget the first time.
No.
Okay, you never do. So anyway, getting good at crafting irresistible offers. So what was I saying? Oh yes, I remember. So you made that sale, you made $1,250 from a solo ad. So what if in Andrea's email she said, if you would like to get my $1,250 solo ad swipe copy, take action today, and if you're the first person to do it, I'm going to send it to you for free. This one solo ad template got me my first $1,250 day. It's been worth at least that to me, and it can potentially be worth that to you. Take action, and I'll send it to you for free. Okay? That's got value. It's an irresistible offer. It doesn't require you to get on the phone for an hour, and it's going to help them. Okay, so that's another example. Okay, daily video series. I'm going to recommend you all start doing a daily video series. And who loves to do videos? Hands up nice and high. Okay, so for everyone else in the room, write down this one word. It's called Jing, J-I-N-G. Okay, you see this little sun over here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's this little sun that follows me around. J-I-N-G. Just Google it. It's completely for free. And with Jing, what you can do is, when you learn how to use it, it's very simple. I can actually record any part of my screen and I can talk. I don't even have to get on camera. 5 minutes is plenty. Yep, 5 minutes is plenty. you can sell like crazy in 5 minutes. A 5-minute little Jing video every day is more than enough. So I click on create video, 3, 2, 1. Hey, so in this video, I'm going to share with you how to get your first sale. In fact, I'm going to share with you how I got my first $1,250 commission, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we record the video. If I was Andrea, I would show the ad. I would show you how I did the swipe, the solo ad. And then I would finish with what? Call to action every time. So if you want to learn how to do this, if you want to be able to make $1,250 commissions, go to 17minutesonly.com and you say your affiliate link and get your free trial today and get started. Okay, now after you finish recording, you press the stop button, and then here, I know you can't really see that, there's a little button that says, you hover over it and it says upload. You upload it. It'll take 2 minutes, you get a link, you send out the link in your email. It actually uploads to Screencast, which is the company that owns this. So they host it for you, and then they give you the link. Okay, then you send the link to anyone, and they can click on it, and in their internet browser, they can play your video and hear your voice. And if you do want to be in the video, you can turn on your webcam, okay, and then you could have your face. So see, you see me there? Okay? So I'm going to turn that off. Personally, that distracts me when I see myself like that. So I don't do that, but you can if you want. Okay? Yes. No, I'm saying send out the email and say, hey, I just made this short little 3-minute video for you where I explain how to do X, Y, Z. And then you have that Jing link. They click it and they go and watch it. That's all you got to do. And you can put that in your Facebook group too. So, no, it won't post to YouTube, but I'm very sure there's a way that you could upload it to YouTube if you wanted to. Okay, so that's that. Daily video series. So now you have no excuse. Okay, because I know that to pull out your iPhone and then make the video, then edit, then upload to YouTube, that can take 30 minutes, that can take an hour. Jing takes 5 minutes. And the one rule is you only get one take. Because if you don't give that rule to yourself, then you're going to end up recording like 10 of them. Okay, because you have the extra the extra R. So everything you do, you only get one take. When I do videos like Ask Matt Lloyd's, it's all live. I don't allow myself to stop. So if I stuff up, I have to keep on going. At Diamond a few weeks ago, we were doing whitewater rafting. And it was pretty extreme. And we had Tasha in the back of the boat, and we grabbed an attendee from another boat. He jumped in my boat, and we're recording Ask Matt Lloyd's going down this waterfall. And we went down this really surprising rapid, and I lost an oar. But we just kept on rolling anyway. So it's in the episode. All right, so my point is you get one take. Okay, number 5, Wufoo application form. I'm going to come back to that at a later day, okay, because that takes a little bit longer to explain and we're out of time. I got 2 more things for you. Here's the 6th one. If you will do this every single day, 1 year from now, you're going to be in a strong financial position. If you have the discipline that every single day you have 3 conversations where you ask for a commitment. Okay, you ask someone to go and get a free trial of 17 minutes only. You ask someone to pay $49 for MTTB. But every single day, you do not sleep unless you've had those 3 conversations. If you will do that from here on out, you will make good money. Again, at the Diamond Mastermind, I'm just giving you a lot of examples there because it was recent. I said this to the audience. And one person, they took it literally. Okay, which is the way I want them to take it. And they didn't have a list yet, so they didn't have people that they could talk to online or have a Facebook chat with. So they literally went to the hotel reception and started talking to the person behind the reception desk. And that person got MTTB. Okay? 3 conversations a day. So it could be face-to-face with someone. Let's say the next time that someone, they ask, what do you do? You explain to them, and then you finish by saying, would you like to try it out? Would you like to get a free trial? Great, okay, well look, you can do it here on my phone. And you open up 17 minutes only, and you just have them do it right there and there. Okay, but if you have 3 conversations a day, after a week, I mean, that's 21 people. You're going to have some of those people say yes. Okay, and you don't have to do hard sales closing or anything like that. Don't think of it like that, because then you won't do it. It's a matter of you just asking questions, finding out what they want, like, okay, ideally, how much money would you be making? Have you ever tried a business before? Have you tried internet marketing? Okay, if I can show you how to get to that level, would you be open? Great, here's the system. Would you like to try this out? Great, take 2 minutes right now, fill out this form. That's all it is. A few questions, and then you ask for a commitment. So when I say ask for the money, I don't literally mean say, give me $49. I mean ask for a commitment. Okay, the commitment could be go here, get your free trial. But you got to ask the question. I used to do all the phone sales for MOBE before we had the phone sales team. And that was the big epiphany I had, because for a long time I would make those calls, I would do the 30-minute session with each client, and I would start to make judgments about that client, and I would start to think, oh, this person's never going to buy. But I started to force myself to ask the question no matter what. And I remember one of these people, I was convinced she was not going to buy. I was really convinced. I thought, no, she's way too skeptical. She's never going to buy. And in the country that she was from, the currency, the exchange rate, it was a big investment for her. So I didn't want to ask the question. But I did ask the question, and she did buy. She had to buy the old MLR on a 4-pay because she couldn't do up front. And that lady was Carolina Mian. And now she's generated over $500,000 in commissions. Okay, I almost didn't ask the question. I thought she wasn't going to buy. So always ask the question. Number 7, this is the final one. Never stop honing your sales and copywriting skills. I know a lot of you don't like the idea of selling, but if you want to become wealthy, you have to learn to love to sell. You have to get comfortable with promoting. And if you don't like it, there's some misperception you have in your mind about selling. So you've got to get around that. But buy books. Learn how to sell. Learn how to do copywriting. Learn it through practicing your craft. Every single day you're sending out emails. Read the books. Study the materials. But these are 2 areas that can make you a lot of money.
Can you recommend
1 or 2 books? There's a book called, who's it by? For the copywriting, you can always go and read the classics. So the classics that were around long before internet marketing was here. So you've got Claude Hopkins, any books by Claude Hopkins. There's another one called, if you want to get one, get this book. It's called The Robert Collier Letter Book. Okay, The Robert Collier Letter Book. Start with that. Sales books, read some Brian Tracy sales books. That's always a good start. But as you're reading, as you're learning, start looking for ways that you can apply it, because when you start applying it, you learn at 10 times the rate.